Hi sisters, welcome back to my channel. I am a sister, I am a fan. So in today's video I'm going to talk about my LIPA experience for the BA acting. So you apply through UCAS, it was £40. How UCAS works is you apply to what schools you want to do, just like a normal university, and then the schools will then get in contact with you about the audition fee. So with UCAS Conservatoire, because they're conservatoires, and all of them usually do have fees, they take it all out at one go. So as soon as you press submit on UCAS Conservatoire, they take however much it is, which has got pros and cons to both. So yeah, LIPA, they then got in contact me about the money, but they also send you a separate form, which is a bit weird. The questions are the same. I did LIPA the year before, but I couldn't actually go because I didn't send the form in time. I didn't pay the money either, so that was fine. But I'm pretty sure it's the exact same form. So the form just gets you to answer some questions. So maybe talking about past experience. It's one of those schools where they literally get you to rewrite your personal statement. Why do your personal statement in the first place? But they ask a lot more weird questions, like I think like something to do with the economy. Yeah, a bit weird. Like 3 factors that could affect some. Oh, I don't know. Then they ask you about like what 3 weaknesses, what 3 things would you like to work on, things like that, all related to acting. Apart from the last bit when it's talking about economy, I think I just mentioned about there'll be more people applying for jobs. Yeah, it's a bit confusing really. Don't stress about it though. Yeah, I wouldn't really stress about it. I mean, they obviously must look at it, but I don't think it's a key factor in if they accept you. So I applied for the BA acting. I didn't even know they had a BA acting and screen course, whatever. It was on the 1st of March, which I'm pretty sure is a Sunday, because my parents came down. So it was about a 2-hour drive, so my brother just drove us all down there. Liverpool's great, it's in Liverpool. LIPA is Liverpool Institute of Performing Arts. There we go. Yeah, so I arrived, I'm pretty sure at 9, I'm assuming at 9 AM, something like that, 9:30. I had my prop with me for my devised theatre piece. Yeah, so all you have to bring is your contemporary, your classical, and LIPA, they get you to do a devised theatre piece. Now, it could change every year, so look at what they ask and really, really read it. So for this year, they asked us to centre around a prop. It doesn't have to be something that happened to us. It doesn't have to be like an actual real-life story. It could be comedy, it could be whatever. It could be whatever prop you want. And I'll tell you what I brought. It's a bit weird and it probably won't make a lot of sense, but it worked. So I got there. You just go through these gates and then like the main entrance is just there. You don't actually understand how big the building is until you go and have a tour. So you're paying £40 for a tour, a workshop, and your own individual audition where you do 3 things in front of a panel of 2. So in my opinion, £40 for that is good money compared to other places, like in my last video, Guildhall, £65? No. So we got in, I just started speaking to some people. They then took us, so my first initial thoughts were walking through the hall. So you go through the doors and it's just a normal reception. And that isn't where you're signing or anything, just a pretty basic reception, a few chairs, whatever. Reminded me of like a college reception. She just took us all into a really big room with chairs and stuff. And like when I was walking through that bit, it's only like a 30-second walk, it reminded me of a high school, like high school halls. And at that point, like I'd never seen LIPA before, so my initial thoughts were I was not a big fan of it. Yeah, interior-wise, school-wise, not a big fan of the building. So we got into the big room, and there was quite a lot of us, I would say. There was probably 45 plus people there. Could be wrong. There's something around that line, that figure. So I sat down, and we were waiting there for quite a long time. Maybe 20 minutes. They then said how this is going to work is so because there were so many people there, they said if your last name is between A and, I don't know, something, then get up. And then they said if your last name is between the and Z, stand up now. So I was in the latter half of the group. So the first group stood up, whoever, you know, their names were, and there was a lot of people, and they just all went in a line, and they just went up to a desk of, I think it's probably like 2 to 3 desks full of people who work there, and you just had to go up to them. I think you had to give them a photo, like a little passport photo. Could be wrong. I know for GSA you had to, I didn't mention that, but you do have to do for GSA. And Central, they do like to bring in a picture. I can't remember for LIPA. I think possibly, I'm not sure. Or just make sure you read what they ask. They gave us a little name badge. I don't know if it had a number. No, did they give us a name badge? I don't know. They gave us a form, basically, because of how many people were there. They obviously want to get people in and out doing different things. So you might have done the workshop first, you might have had the tour first, you might have actually done your audition first. So I was in a group that I had my audition first. I'm pretty sure I had my audition first. So there was about 3 different groups that were doing all their auditions. So in my group there was about 7 of us, 8 of us. There was below 10 in each group. And then we all then had to wait to go into the room individually for a panel of 2. And then we all had our own instructor, personal tour guide. I was, I think, one of the last people to go in the group, which was fine. You know, when there's only 10 people, it's really not that big of a deal, especially when you're only in there for 5 to 10 minutes and you're chatting to people, it's fine. So I went in. It was really, really casual. The man who was auditioning me is works on the theatre directing, I think. And then the other girl who was there is actually a student or a past student. She was on the BA acting. Oh, also as well, when we all went into the building initially, they took us into one of their seminar rooms, like a classical lecture room, and that is also when I was a bit I don't like the look of this school because it was very grotty, old, and the principal was basically just telling us, you know, a bit about LIPA, how many people apply, things like that, really, just basic things, and what was actually going to happen with the day. So I forgot to mention that. So I'm in the audition room, I do my monologues, I introduce myself, you know, I'm saying I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, do my classical, contemporary, and then I do my devised theatre piece. My contemporary goes really well. They're not that's amazing, oh my god, wow, but they were nice. I did my contemporary, and it's a good job. My contemporary was quite obscure, a lot of people didn't know it, and he knew it. He loves the writer, and we were just bonding, and he was absolutely wetting himself through the monologue, and I was like, yes, finally, because it is such a funny monologue, and it's sometimes hard to do it if people don't know the monologue, and it's always better if people understand and if people are laughing, and it gets you just, yeah. So that was really, really nice. He was laughing, and it was really nice. Could have still done a few things better, but oh well. He then was like, right, so let's do your devised theatre piece. So I didn't have anything personal. For instance, this other lad, the year before he used his granddad's, who passed away, I think, his granddad's watch. But this year he used a flannel, a shirt flannel, to talk about masculinity and stuff like that. I used a toaster. Yeah. Just let that sink in. I used a toaster, and me and my friend had so much fun with it. So the whole premise is that I was going to pretend that the toaster is my dog. Now, I know it's a toaster, but I'm treating it like a dog. And we're going on Britain's Got Talent, and I'm doing a dog show, basically. You know, I'm doing tricks. I'm pulling it by the lead. I put googly eyes on it, and I put a bit of like fabric thing on the ends to make it look like a tail. Took a bit of bread with me to do some tricks, like, oh, yeah, sit, good boy, things like that. It's meant to be ridiculous. So we also, so there was a few guidelines with the devised theatre piece. So they asked that it can't just be a dance, it can't just be a monologue. So it has to involve an object. Now I used my toaster. That lad used his flannel. Someone used her phone, which is pretty basic. Try and be creative. There was actually some really cool ones. Someone used a wine glass, I think. Something like that. And you create a story. 2-minute story, 1 minute 30, something like that. About something. Now, I used all the criteria I used. So I added music, dance, let's be honest, it wasn't dance, but it was just me moving around. Some movement, yeah, dance. It's an acting course, who really cares? So, dance, music, me talking, so everything really. So I made it on iMovie. I didn't make it, my friend made it, and I'm so happy because it turned out amazing. So the whole thing was, I was going to be getting ready to go on the stage and perform to the panel, and you know, it was Britain's Got Talent, and I bring the toaster out, and like it was meant to be ridiculous, like the toaster fell over straight away, and I didn't tell them what the whole idea was. All they knew it was a bit like Britain's Got Talent, and that I was pretending this to be my dog. And so after all that, they were like, right, that was great, but why? And I told them why, and they were like, that is so smart. That is so smart. The idea is when you watch Britain's Got Talent, you sometimes can watch a shit performance, but during the performance, it can give, you know how it like, split screens or stops them from performing, and it shows a bit of them answering questions like, why are you here today, Amy? And then they go, actually I'm here because my mum, just before she died, she really wanted me to be on Britain's Got Talent. Things like that. So the more you know about the performer, the more they, you know, reveal to themselves about their mum dying, or, you know, all this and that. Does their performance become less shit? And that was the whole idea. It made a bit more sense when I did it. And they were like, that's really smart. It was a lot of fun. Bit of a pain to carry all that shit around there. So did that, went really well. I enjoyed it. And then we went back downstairs into the canteen. I can't remember what we did next. I don't know whether we had the tour next or we had the workshop. I'm just reading my notes. Yeah, well, I'm just going to say we had the tour then. So I put my toaster away because I wasn't going to carry that. Had the tour, and the school is massive. And the more you went into it, the more it kind of reminded me of like Hogwarts. Really, really nice. I actually really started to like the school compared to what I first initially saw. We then had lunch. Oh, and also I was asking questions about the course because you could. We then had lunch. Which we had to wait quite a bit because we were, with the tour you finish a lot earlier than the workshop and the audition. We then had a workshop, so again it was just, I think we added another group onto ours, so I think there must have been about 15 people, 20 people. It wasn't a lot actually, it wasn't a lot, maybe 15, 17 people, and we all went in a circle and we played like a catch game to kind of keep our focus, which was nice. We did like pulling out the box and going, you know, like, oh wow, this, oh thank you so much, this is a hair curler. But things that you don't usually do, like we didn't play splat, we didn't go, say something about yourself, like it was nice. We did a lot of stretching and movement and all that. And then after that, you also get recalled into the afternoon sometimes if they like you. Yeah, so after that, we went into this room, pretty small room with all of us in, and they just called out people who were going to be recalled. I got recalled, and so did a few of the other lads in my group, which was nice because we became quite good friends. We then, the people who got recalled, I think we got split into 2 groups. I don't know why. I don't know whether one was for the foundation course and one was for the BA acting. I don't know. Went into a pretty small room and they asked each of us to do something. So usually what happens is, when you're actually in the proper audition, the person auditioning you might go, you know what, their contemporary was amazing. I loved it. It's just their classical, you know. I don't know about the classical. Let's get them in a recall and see if the principal, because it's a principal and someone else who, I think it's just a way for them to go, it's just another view to the performance. The principal might look at the classical and go, that was amazing. Yeah, I like it. But with me, they didn't ask me to do anything specific. They were just like, yeah, what do you want to do? I went, my contemporary. Sure, we'll do it. And that was it. I found out quite a lot later. It wasn't 2 weeks. Was it 2 weeks? I don't know. It was quite a bit later. Now, I didn't think I was going to get onto the BA acting course because I'm not ready for a BA acting course. And also, LIPA I like a lot. LIPA is not the school for me though. When I was asking my questions, which is I would recommend doing, getting questions down, I was asking questions and she wasn't giving me the answers that I wanted. Yeah, so they offered me foundation, which is great. However, the foundation course is £9. So actually a bit less than East 15, but you can't get any funding for it. So I'd probably be spending like 20 grand altogether without any funding, and I just can't do that. And that was it. I declined my offer because by that point I don't know if I knew about East. Yeah, I might have known about East 15 by that point, because if my audition was on the 1st of March, I think that was it. It was in April, and that was like 5 weeks later, and I messaged them like, have you guys forgot about me? That's something that LIPA does. Their admin team is shocking, in my opinion. Their responses are crap. They never responded to me. Bad. Would I recommend East 15? Yeah, definitely. It was a really lovely school. Very nice atmosphere. Really, really friendly. £40 as well for all that, in my opinion, is great. I was there from 9 till about 3 because I got recalled. And it also challenges you. You know, I worked on that devised piece for a very long time. And yeah, that was it. Trying to think of anything else. I don't think there is anything else. But yeah, thanks very much for watching. I know it's been a long video, so I'm going to go. Bye!